Good morning and welcome to this episode of Inside Texoma. Today we're taking an inside look at the Wichita Falls Museum of Art and some very exciting things that they have coming up this month. So I'm joined by Mary Helen Maskell and Dr. Francine Carraro. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's first of all delve into the museum. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do over there.
Well, we're delighted to be here. Thank you for asking us. Well, we have a lot of interesting fun things going on at the museum. I'd like to tell you a little bit about us. You probably already know. The museum has been around now almost 50 years. It began in 1967, and our building was built in 1967. It's been added on to after the '79 tornado. Some of it was destroyed and it was renovated and added on to. We've had some renovations in the last couple of years in the galleries. Last year, the interior space. But this year, and we'll talk more about it later, we have another major addition to the exterior of the museum. So for almost 50 years, it began as the Wichita Falls Arts Center. When it joined the university, Midwestern State University, in 2005, it became the Wichita Falls Museum of Art at MSU. And our mission has been to serve both the university and the community. We have a tagline. We say we are building bridges and making connections through new experiences in art for all ages. So building bridges and making connections is what we do. When the museum began in the 60s, there was a history component, there was a children's component, there was a planetarium, and there was an art component. But when they joined the university, they began to focus exclusively on art. And that was a wise thing to do because since 1967, the museum has been collecting works of art by American artists and mostly focusing on works on paper. And they have amassed a really extraordinary collection of American art works on paper, which can be watercolors, pastels, lithographs, etchings, woodblock prints, photographs. And they're about, what do you think, maybe our collections manager, Brianna, will tell us exactly, but more than 3,000 works of art in the permanent collection. But we can't show them all at one time. So we show them in a continuous changing of exhibitions. We also get exhibitions from other museums. And like recently we had the Andrea Rich woodcuts from the Lee Yawkey Woodson Art Museum in Wausau, Wisconsin. We've had exhibitions from museums from Dallas, museums from Oklahoma City, from Abilene, and we also tour some of our collection to other museums as well for temporary exhibitions. But we also try to show at least a portion of our permanent collection consistently. And so in that, we have changing exhibitions, and they usually change about every 3 months. So there's always something new at the museum to come see. And then we also, then we can showcase our permanent collection. We can showcase the temporary exhibitions that somehow relate to our collection. And then we create programs, public programs for that relate to those exhibitions. And that's where Mary Helen Maskell, who's our Director of Public Programs, comes in. And we have, and she can tell us more about those kind of exhibitions.
And really, it's my job is to interpret the things that come in. And lots of times it's just maybe something as simply as a summer camp where I'll take the children in there, give them, some of them it's their first time that they've been in a museum, kind of teach them museum manners, but then we do a lot of art that relates back to what's in there. We have a summer series, concert series that we do outside, and our new area outside is going to be really great for that. We will start with the Black and White Band, which is a really local band that I'm sure everybody knows about, on May 28th. So everybody needs to come out 6 to 8 to see that. But and it's going to be their last performance because they're splitting up and going to odds ends of the earth. So everybody needs to come see them, the people that like them.
So it seems like you guys are always busy over there.
Yes,
we're always busy, and we also want to make sure that people know that we're always free. There's no memberships to this museum. We do serve the university, the faculty, students, and staff of the university, but we serve the community. And so rarely, unless we're having a fundraising event, you might have to buy a ticket for that. But most of the time, all the time, walk into the museum, see the exhibitions, enjoy them, and they're free.
And they're open certain hours every day, I imagine.
The public hours are Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 1 to 5. But the administration, we're there on Mondays. We can have meetings on Mondays, that sort of thing. But we have a lot of evening events, and we have some weekend events as well. One of the ways that we do get earned income is by rental of the space. So we will have private receptions or birthday parties or retirement parties or weddings.
It's a wedding season.
And so we rent out the space for that. And those are usually evenings and weekends. And then when we have our own receptions, when we open an exhibition, they're usually on Thursday evenings. So since there's no memberships, the way to find out about what we're doing is either befriend us on Facebook, we try to keep that up, or give us, call the museum and give us your email address, and we produce an e-newsletter, not a printed newsletter, every 2 weeks. And that gets you up to speed about what's happening, what's the new shows, if there's a camp for kids coming up or something like that. So people can keep abreast of what's going on fairly easily.
All right, well, one of the big things you have going on is this new pavilion. We're going to talk about that right after this break. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, I'm Melissa Kakarika, joined by Mary Helen Maskell and Dr. Francine Carraro. We've been talking about the Wichita Falls Museum of Art and what you guys do. The big event coming up, the big thing going on right now is this new pavilion. So take us back how this first started, the idea to build a new pavilion.
Happily. We've had a very successful program, and Mary Helen mentioned it before, and that's our Live at the Lake. And we were experiencing 300 people coming on Thursday evenings in the summer for our Live at the Lake concerts. They got very popular. And quite frankly, when I arrived about 3 years ago, I could see that this was a great opportunity for the museum. And we love having the people, and people loved it. But it was a little embarrassing because what we had was what I called the rickety tent. And it was a little rickety tent that we put up for these musicians and a little wooden stage. And the sound system was not great. And so I actually, there was a lot of planning that went into this. And we, in our thinking about what do we really want to see, we want more visitors, we want more participation, and we want people to enjoy those kind of programs. At the same time, our wedding reservations began to be more and more, yeah. And people wanted to have their weddings outdoors. Well, we didn't really have a space for them outdoors. They were kind of just standing on the lawn.
Hanging things from trees.
And in both cases, we said, we can do better. Mm-hmm. And so I actually sought a grant, and really this has grown into a larger, far beyond my expectations. Thanks to the Pretty Foundation, who saw in just a little bit of an idea, they helped us make this come to fruition, to have a permanent, architecturally significant pavilion and amphitheater. And so it's been now over a year and a half in the making, but it will soon be completed.
Finally.
Like any minute. And And we contracted with Dick Bundy and his architectural firm. He designed it. I think he created an extraordinary a piece of architecture right on Sykes Lake. It has a lot of curb appeal, but at the same time, it's going to be, I think, a remarkable place to have outdoor concerts, weddings, museum events, and we're going to have an opportunity, we'll talk more about this in a bit, but we'll have an opportunity on May the 16th and 17th to see exactly what this pavilion is going to be capable of. And it's going to be here for a long time. But we're very proud and pleased that this has come to fruition.
Well, we're looking at some pictures now kind of throughout the construction process. Kind of take us through what building this has been like over the past year and a half, you said.
Well, the concept on paper was exciting to look at in the blueprints. But I can tell you that every time they would put up just the framework of the structure and then build the semicircular seats for the amphitheater, I mean, daily it's been a thrill to walk out there and watch the contractor is Inman Construction. And they have just, I think it's been a real challenge, but they've stepped up and created exactly what Dick Bundy had conceived of this remarkable structure.
So right now we're almost done. We're putting finishing touches on.
And
Yes.
in the back they've kind of added, as an addition to this that's out front, you really can't see this from the street, but there's a terrace that'll be added to our event hall in the back. So for the weddings that need to, it got a little tight back there because you wanted a few more people, you can flow out onto this terrace and you'll be outside. And there's so much that happens outside. I mean, so many events happen outside here because the weather's so nice that we think it's going to be even better. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
So it grew into a new construction all along Sykes Lake, the pavilion, the terrace, but also from another source of funds, we redid the parking lot, and we added a new driveway that connects the museum to Vernon College. And so all of the exterior new improvements as a whole really have changed the way we're going to be able to use the space, the exterior space at the museum.
So kind of, as you mentioned, great for you guys at the museum and also for the community, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think about the same time I heard a lot of people in the community saying, you know, we could use an outdoor pavilion. I know the city has that stage that they move around. They said, we could really use one. And a friend of ours had already seen we were doing it. He goes, guys, hadn't you been out to the museum? You need to go out to the lake and see what they're doing. So hopefully everybody will come by and look and stop, come in, look at it. It'll be a great place.
It's hard to miss as you drive by, so I'm sure a lot of people have been seeing it, but what better way to kick off all of the great uses for this pavilion than a big celebration, which is what we're going to have, right?
That's great.
Absolutely.
And we will tell you exactly what's going on at that celebration and when right after this. Welcome back to Inside Texoma, inside the Wichita Falls Museum of Art. You've heard about the new pavilion that's being built. You've probably even seen it. And there is going to be a very big celebration, which you guys have been planning for a while now.
This is the celebration to announce to the public that we are opening the pavilion. We're calling it Arts at the Pavilion, and we've created a logo for it, and it is a statement that says this is now open, and we wanted to create an event that would characterize what we hope for this pavilion in the future. And again, back to planning, we are not performance art groupies by any stretch.
This
I mean,
is
we're
academics,
appreciators.
and I'm
we're the
visual.
appreciators. But we conceived of a plan that said that there's wonderful performing arts groups in town. So we wanted to invite them to the celebration. And so that's where that came about, is to think in terms of offering continuous performances on the pavilion. It's scheduled for Saturday, Saturday, May 16th, and from about 11 till about 6 p.m. It could go later than that. And Sunday, May the 17th, from about 1 to about 6, 7, or 8 p.m., depending. And we have invited numerous groups to help us conceive of this celebration. Arts at the Pavilion is also showcasing all of the new exterior improvements, which include the terrace, and and we also planned an exhibition of sculpture by David Hayes. We brought it in actually it's from Connecticut. David Hayes passed on in just about 3 or 4 years ago, but his family still has and shows his collection. David Hayes was an important American sculptor on the par with Alexander Calder. So these are large, metal, brightly painted primary colors of sculptures. And there are 12 of them that are around the exterior of the museum along Sykes Lake. So the exhibition, again, showcases the exterior improvements. And but also the terrace is going to be where Mary Helen is going to have children's events.
Children's
that will be part of the party.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be activities for the children to do, so they can come and probably watch it. We'd like them to listen to some group, but if there's somebody they don't really like, they can come back there and we'll have some goodies for them to eat and 2 or 3 different ways for them to really engage in the David Hayes sculpture, but also just to make something fun that they can walk around. It's very contemporary sculpture, so the pieces that we'll create as kids will be very contemporary too.
So it's very family friendly. You really want everybody to come on.
Very family friendly. The Gypsy Kit food truck will be available in the parking lot. And there's going to be a lot of festive things. And this also grew out of a great memory and affection for the longtime Spring Fling. We'll never create the Spring Fling exactly as it existed in the past, but we do want to create many of the same and express many of the same qualities that Spring Fling had. Family fun, art, but also in a new setting, and that's to showcase the pavilion.
And now as we get closer, nervous anticipation, excitement. I mean, I know you've been working on it for quite a while.
The lists are getting longer on the desk. You know, I'm going, oh, I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that.
It'll all get done.
It'll get done. It'll get done. But yeah, I'm kind of wishing that somebody said 2 weeks the other day, and I went, oh, that's a while. Now it'd be
We're
good.
ready. We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready for it. So many of the groups have really, they got excited about it when we began to plan this. And it's their energy that's helped fuel it as well, because they can see the potential of the new pavilion. And quite frankly, we hope that they do love it, and that maybe each one of those organizations in the future would think about that that's a space that they could use, a venue for their productions. And so we're hoping that this will be a great introduction to everyone for those possibilities.
Yeah, kind of come on out, see it, get some ideas for weddings, concerts, whatever you might want to use it for.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're going to talk more about the celebration next. You're watching Inside Texoma on this Sunday morning as we get ready for the Arts at the Pavilion celebration over at the museum. We've been talking about it the whole show. Let's really break down what people are going to see when they come.
Wonderful. Saturday, May the 16th, these are the groups that will, and in this order, will be performing, and it's a great menu. Zavala Youth Ballet Folklorico, the Wichita Theater, the SSB Dancers, the Christian Praise Gospel Group, the Backdoor Theater, the Hershey High School Choir, and chamber ensembles. And then that evening, Saturday evening, is the Wichita Falls Community Orchestra. It will essentially be their spring concert. So Saturday will be a continuous performance on the pavilion. You can come and stay the entire day and see all of these groups, or just come and see the one that you're most interested in. Also, we will have guest MCs including Melissa. And on Saturday, we have another KAUZ, Chris Horgan. We have Ann Arnold, who's with the Chamber of Commerce. And we have Daryl Franklin with KFDX. And Melissa, you are our guest MC from 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturday. So we thank you for that. On Sunday, the roster includes Applause, the Rider Guitar Ensemble, the Red River Intertribal Club of Dancers, the Youth Symphony Orchestra, the Wichita Falls Symphony Orchestra, and for the Sunday evening performance will be the Caribbean Pan Ensemble. These are steel drums. And we hope that music will fill the Sykes Lake sound and just be a great fun event. So those are the groups that, and in many cases, because the pavilion, we're talking the architecture and the construction is just now getting finished. This may be the first time many of them would have ever just stepped on this stage. So, I mean, it may be a bit of an adventure to see how this is going to work. But they're excited about it, and we're excited about it.
It really showcases a lot of the best in our community as far as the arts go.
It does. And the times are a little bit different. Saturday, it really starts around 11 o'clock. We'll have a little raising of the flag and possibly the national anthem or something like that. And hopefully it'll go to 6. We can't really tell you. That's the order that they're going to show up, but somewhere in there, some may take longer than the others. And then on Sunday, it'll start like after the church service and stuff about 1 o'clock, and hopefully goes to about 6 too.
Would you want to stress it's free? There's no ticket process.
No ticket.
Absolutely free.
Nope.
If you would like, there in the amphitheater there are like cushions. You can sit in the amphitheater. We are thinking that it will hold 150 people. You can also bring your own lawn chairs or your blankets and your own picnic if you'd like. There's plenty of room to spread out.
And I'm sure you can hear everything pretty well.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then on the terrace, the kids will have their activities and popcorn.
And they'll be able to hear it from there. And there's
lemonade.
There's actually a little courtyard too. So if you're not really comfortable sitting on our kind of seating that's built into the ground, you can bring your own chairs and just have your own area for your family there too. So.
And enjoy the David Hayes sculpture exhibition on the grounds, and have fun.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
Exactly. And as you said, you can kind of come and go as you please, but it seems like you can spend the whole day there. I mean, you have all these acts, you have the exhibitions, so you really can mark your calendar for the whole day if you
That
want
would
to.
be great.
It would be
We'd
great.
love to have you that way.
Well, go ahead.
Parking might be kind of a problem if you'll just kind of follow signs to where we have some people that might want to park over in the Sykes Mall, and then you can just walk back through the kind of back way over at Vernon. You can walk through our new back driveway that way. But we have a lot of new parking, so don't be scared by, well, there's going to be too many people, we can't park. There'll be room for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, you did say that I am one of the guest MCs on Saturday from 4 to 6. I just want to thank you guys for inviting me. I know I'm really excited.
Terrific.
I'm sure you're more excited than I am, but I am very excited too. I think this is going to be a great event, and of course, very momentous for you guys over at the museum.
Thank you. Yes.
That'd be wonderful.
Absolutely. This is a historic moment, I think.
Well, is there anything else you want Texoma to know before we leave today about the celebration?
Well, we hope to see you all there, and we hope that this is the beginning of a whole new chapter in the museum's program of how we're going to use this new wonderful pavilion.
And if there are any questions, they can just call for me, and I do all the public programs there, so I'll be more than happy to guide them through whatever they need to know, answer yes or no, so it really doesn't hurt to call just to ask.
Yeah, any questions about the museum, the
or this
pavilion?
weekend or anything, we'll ask any questions. And
Right.
our students at the front desk know a lot too, so you can walk in and ask also.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for
Thank
giving
you.
us a preview. I know it's going to be a big event.
Thank
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And thank you for tuning in to Inside Texoma.